Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday. It is the 8th of January, and we have made it through the worst part of the week. We've made it through the deep freeze, Tom.
It was only minus 14 on my way in this morning. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's
and
hot.
Much better than yesterday when it was minus 24.
It's balmy, really.
Well, let's not go crazy. Balmy?
Oh, okay, fine.
No,
fine.
but on the weekend, in the long range,
Oh, I know.
You've got details, don't you?
I do.
Oh, God.
And they're good.
It's really good.
Tom's excited.
I am excited.
Okay, let's take a look at our current temperatures. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Okay, current temperature.
And we may even see that little fireball in the sky.
And you know, we need to consider ourselves lucky because we haven't received 60 centimeters of snow.
No, we haven't, but very close to us, they have.
They have in Owen Sound through Perry Sound. Now, these are unofficial reports. These are calls on our storm line, people talking about 60 to 70 centimeters of snow. So at least we know people have gotten 50 plus. And these pictures show it off.
That's right. And
where we're seeing this incredible amount of snow. The cold temperatures will warm up in the long range. I'm going to have all those details coming up in just a few moments. But right now I'm going to turn things over to Tom. He's got an update on your commute. Well, it's not looking too bad as we get closer to the weekend, as Tom was mentioning. Our temperatures are actually going to go up significantly. We're looking at 4 degrees for Saturday. It may even rise above that. Temperatures are going to stay mild into Sunday and Monday and even into Tuesday. We're looking pretty good right through the weekend and into the beginning.
This weather segment.
Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is January the 8th. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. We have warmed up significantly, and we're going to continue to do so as we get closer to the weekend.
We've almost cut the temperatures in half from where they were yesterday.
Almost.
It was minus 24 or so. Today it's about minus 14. I know it's not quite half, but it's close.
It's close enough. Well, let's take a look at our current temperatures because it is still incredibly cold.
And I think in the long range, Emily has some good news as well.
I really do. We won't have to talk about the wind chill warnings, which have been dropped, by the way, for the city of Toronto because the criteria is minus 30 and we're only going to feel like minus 28.
Nothing.
No big deal.
Piece of cake.
70 days until spring, Tom.
70 days. That
70
works out
days.
to over 2 months, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. 2 months sounds longer, doesn't it?
Well, no, 70, yes. Yes, it does. 70 days sounds better.
I don't know why. Anyway, the countdown is on for spring. Come on, spring.
We're embracing it, remember, Tom?
Spring. I am embracing spring.
All right, well, roads have been an absolute mess these last few days, and this is a scene near an hour. You throw that in with a wind chill, feeling like the minus 30s to the minus 40s and 30 to 50 centimeters of fresh snow. Not advisable to go anywhere. Hunker down again today because it's still going to be cold, but things are getting better. More details on that in the long range, but first, Tom, any major delays at this early hour? It's warming up significantly by this weekend. We are going to see daytime highs above the freezing mark. We do have a new system coming in. This one is going to be bringing us rain, but it's going to be all rain at 4 degrees. By Sunday, we drop down to 2, but we stay above seasonal right into next week. Hang on, the rebound is almost here. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. In the next 20 minutes, I'll tell you how much more you have to endure. In New York State, residents and forecasters alike are nervously watching. It's hard to escape the cold. Icy temperatures are stretching right down into Florida, where a hard freeze warning is in effect. Overnight lows dropping below zero. But when it comes to primates, zoo officials say that much like us, when it gets cold, they like to stay in bed and pull the covers over their heads. Cute. All right, so we'll take a look at your long-range forecast, the warm-up that's on the way. I'll have all those details just ahead, but first, here's Tom with traffic. A nice hot breakfast would be a good idea this morning. Temperatures are cold again. We're looking at minus 14 through the city of Toronto, minus 17 up in Barrie. It is minus 17 through Kitchener, minus 16 through Oshawa, minus 18 through Newmarket. It is cold when you factor in those winds as well. And this afternoon, it is still going to feel like the minus 20s when you factor in the wind chill. We're looking at minus 10 for the afternoon through Hamilton, Toronto, up through Barrie, minus 11.
By Subway Road.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday. It is the 8th of January. We are kind of getting out of the deep freeze, but it's still really cold.
We've decided to warm things up. We took a lot of hostility and criticism.
People were throwing things at us.
Snowballs, ice, things like that. So we've decided to warm it up for you.
What's that movie with Nicolas Cage? Is it called Weatherman?
Yeah.
And someone's like throwing slushies at him?
Yeah. We're going to warm it up. We've decided. There's a girl at Tim Hortons this morning said, "Can you change this?" I said, "Yes."
Absolutely.
No problem.
Here we go.
She said, "Tomorrow." I said, "Yes, it's going to start to get better tomorrow."
We're going to wave our magic wand.
There you go.
And here's our current temperatures.
That's
We're looking at -14, so much warmer than yesterday.
Wow, look at that.
-17 in Barrie, -17 in Kitchener, -16 in Oshawa. Now, Tom, if this was all true, we would be making it 30 and sunny every single day. If anybody knows us at all, that is what we would be doing.
That's why I've always said we should broadcast live all the time from the Bahamas.
We're still seeing fairly strong winds. They're not as strong as they were yesterday. They're not as intense. They're not up to 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. They're more around 50 right now.
And if you saw that little blip at the end of Lake Erie, the radar in Buffalo is not working properly. And they don't want to take it down to fix it, so that is not representative of what's actually going on down there.
Yeah, so if you're traveling in that area, lots of snow on the roads. Blowing Sturgeon Bay these last couple of days have been... I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Awful. Don't go there if you don't have to. All right, we'll talk about your long-range forecast in the next few moments. The good news, Tom's magic wand, it's working, but here he is with traffic.
That's right. You just...
Warming up significantly. We're looking at -7 tomorrow, but by the weekend, 4 degrees for Saturday. But we do have some rain on the way. It's going to be wet. It'll melt all of that ice and that snow, so that's good news. And we stay above seasonal into the beginning of next week. The good news is that it's actually warming up today. The bad news is that it's not warming up by much. It is still going to feel like -28 when you factor in the wind chill. Incredibly cold. So bundle up this morning. Get your kids bundled up this morning. It is going to be a cold commute to work or school. Is it cold enough to play soccer in the snow? Yeah, this guy seems to think so. This is in Fort Erie, and Fort Erie is dealing with so much snow right now. They've actually got a band coming off the northern shores of Erie. Snow squalls, it is very tricky to get around. Tons of snow blowing everywhere, but Jennifer's husband, Michael, seems to think that, why not? Let's go play some soccer in the snow. That's crazy. I would never do that. Record-breaking lows yesterday, all-time. Record-breaking wind chills. It actually felt like -42 in London yesterday morning. Well, and you get the idea. It has been incredibly cold. A warm-up is on the way. I'm going to have all those details coming up in your long-range forecast. Time now for our Weather IQ. Is it the name of a heavy metal band? Or is it a weather term? Chris May finds out. Thanks for that, Chris. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Tom Reynolds. He has an update on traffic. Hang on. The rebound is almost here. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. So in the next 20 minutes, I'll tell you how much more you have to endure. We are going to be joining Kevin Yard. He is live in Burlington this morning. And Kevin, I have got amazing news for you. It is only 70 days until spring. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this very chilly start to the day. It's Wednesday. It is the 8th of January. And I don't know about you, Tom, but I think these cold temperatures are making this week feel really long.
I think from anybody, certainly anybody working outside, the hydro guys, by the way, great job, everybody, for the hydro. They've been going crazy. I know the pay has been pretty good too, but being out there in that weather, awful.
Or firefighters.
They're out there fighting.
Yeah, I mean, all of the water that sticks to them adds like 15 pounds.
I'm hearing nonstop this morning. They're all water lines, water mains breaking, and water inside homes breaking, and fire alarms is going off. So that's a problem.
Brutal. Yeah. Okay, well, let's head to Kevin. He's in Burlington this morning. And Kevin, you didn't hear me earlier when I said 70 days until spring. That has got to make you feel fantastic. Thanks, Kevin. We'll talk about the good news coming up in our long-range forecast. But first, Tom, do you have good news for the roads today? Great news. We actually warm up to above seasonal conditions. -7 tomorrow, tons of sunshine, high pressure firmly in place. Friday, a little bit of cloud cover with that approaching system. And then Saturday, we're going to see rain, but temperatures bumping up to 4 degrees. Sunday, 2 degrees, a few isolated showers, and staying above seasonal into next week. Blinding snow and biting wind. What a few days it's been. Hang on. The rebound is almost here. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. In the next 20 minutes, I'll tell you how much more you're going to have to endure with these cold temperatures. We join Kevin Yard now. He is in Burlington. And Kevin, what's the consensus? Are people happy that spring is 70 days away, or are they loving the winter, the cold, the snow, everything that comes with it? Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday, it is January the 8th, and it still remains cold. Now, Tom, you remember yesterday, Mike Arsenault froze his tank top. Not while he was wearing it, but froze it outside in Windsor because it was so cold. Took less than 5 minutes.
Yes.
Well, my husband saw that experiment, and he thought, hey, I'm going to do that too. But instead, he froze his underwear. Not while wearing But at my house in Oakville, in the afternoon, the sun was coming down. It took 2.5 minutes for his boxers to freeze.
So Brian took his boxers, soaked his boxers, and then stuck them outside?
Well, he stood there and held them with tongs.
I tell you.
And they froze. And then him and Roxy are playing fetch with his frozen
Brian knows
boxers.
how to live, doesn't he? Playing Frisbee with his underwear.
I posted the video on my Facebook, and actually somebody said, I think your husband has too much time on his hands.
I'd say maybe just a bit. Yeah. And then did he put them on?
No.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
All right, let's check in with Kevin. He's in Burlington this morning. And Kevin, some very, very light snowflakes coming down right now.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, just put some clothes on back inside of the studio.
Just put some clothes on. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, well, if you're lucky enough to not be going to work or school today, if you're on vacation and you're going skiing further north, tons of snow on the ground. We're talking 30-plus centimeters, so conditions are loving it. Ski hill operators think this has been a fantastic winter so far, and it's not over yet. Only 70 days until spring, Tom.
Yeah.
Warming up. -7 tomorrow, tons of sun, high pressure firmly in place. Friday, Saturday, we bump up to 7. I know it's balmy, but it's going to be wet. We are going to see some rain on the way, and by Sunday, cooling down to 3, but lots of sunshine in the forecast. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. So it's hard to escape the cold. Icy temperatures are stretching right down into Florida, where a hard freeze warning is in effect. Overnight lows dropping below 0 had the Jacksonville Zoo working hard to keep animals warm during the night. Say that much like us, when it gets cold, they like to stay in bed and pull the covers over their heads. Cute. All right, so we'll take a look at your long-range forecast, the warm-up that's on the way. I'll have all those details just ahead, but first, here's Tom with traffic. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It is July.
Wishful thinking. A little slip, maybe?
January the 8th.
Yeah, it starts with a J.
I don't know why I was thinking July.
Well, I don't know.
I saw the umbrella, and I was thinking of you.
Well, I was saying that kid's smart. The umbrella, pulling himself on the sleigh with the wind, that's cool. That is a cool idea.
Brooklyn's still waiting for you to pick her up and go tobogganing, by the way.
I was there the other day, and there's no answer.
Yeah, right.
I had my toboggan and everything.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, it is cold. It is very cold again today. Not as cold as it was yesterday. But
Feeling like -32, -22. It's very cold outside.
Winter comfort tips if you want to stay warm. Dress in layers. And Kevin Yard is someone we have live right now. And no. Do we have Kevin?
Say how cold is it?
Kevin was there, and now he's not.
He's
It's too cold. Okay, winter comfort tips. Dress in layers. Make sure you bundle up, and one that has lining in it, and waterproof. Stay dry. All right, we're going to check in with Kevin. Kevin, how are things underfoot? Still pretty slippery?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin, and we'll get to all those long-range details in a minute. But first, Tom, how cold is it?
It is so cold that I have got 6 garbage cans that are frozen to the ground.
Well, Tom, the next time I ask you how cold is it, I want something wittier and funnier than just garbage cans. -7 tomorrow. We're looking at 1 for Friday, warming up dramatically for Saturday, 7 degrees, but we do have rain on the way for the GTA. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. In the next 20 minutes, I'll tell you how much more of this we're going to have to endure. We're going to join Kevin Yard now. Oh, he is live braving the elements this morning. Kevin, slippery underfoot. We're seeing some light snow coming down in areas. Are motorists still able to kind of get around this morning? Have things gotten better? I think we've got some technical difficulties with Kevin's microphone, but we will check back in with him shortly. At least he's dressed for it. Toque, big winter jacket, winter comfort tips. Make sure you dress in layers today and make sure you stay dry. It is all about staying out of the cold, inside in the warmth. And you know, Tom, a lot of people have been buying those like hot paws or whatever. You put them in your gloves, and even if you just put them in your pockets around your body if you're waiting for a bus, they'll probably keep you pretty warm.
Yeah, absolutely. The hot paw suit has been a sellout, actually. Suit? Yeah, full suit. Just put on the whole hot paw suit, do it up, and away you go. You're good to go.
What a few days it's been. Hang on. The rebound is almost here. For most of southern Ontario, especially here in the GTA, winter isn't what it used to be. And in the next 20 minutes, I'll tell you how much more you're going to have to endure. We're going to check in with Kevin Yard. He's live in Burlington this morning down by the water. And Kevin, I know you're dressed for it, but can you still feel your fingers and your toes? Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's January the 8th. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. How cold is it? Well, it's cold enough, Tom, that a family in Chicago has actually filled up their baby's like swimming pool, you know, those little kids swimming pools, inside the house with snow for the baby to play in because it's too cold to take your baby outside. So you bring the snow inside because you know you want your kids to get out and play in the snow and get active and this kind of thing.
If I was going to do that, I'd fill the little pool with warm water and get in myself.
Tom would make it a hot tub.
Exactly. A little hot tub inside would be nice.
Well, the picture was cute. The little baby with snow angels in the little pool of snow.
Sure. Well, that's fun.
Hey, Kevin, that's something that you haven't done too many of this year. I don't think I've actually seen you do one snow angel. I know it's minus $1 million right now, but still, that would be fun to see, wouldn't it?
Or a polar dip.
Look in there. What do you think? Doesn't it even look cold? It looks cold.
It looks very cold. Thanks, Kevin. But we've got snow on the ground. The cold temperatures are helping it stick around, and that's great news for skiers and boarders up through Collingwood and Barrie. We're seeing 30-plus centimeters of snow already on the ground. Then you take all of the stuff that we had just previously seen. Some of these areas have tons of snow. It is such good news for resort operators throughout the area. We'll talk more about the warming trend that's on the way for the GTA, but first, here's Tom with traffic.
Emily?
It looks great if you like mild temperatures. We're going to hit above seasonal highs by Saturday. We're going up to 7. We should be around 2 for this time of year, so that's great news. But we are going to see some rain. There's the good with the bad with this. But we are going to stay above seasonal through the weekend and into next week for the GTA. Hi there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday. It is January the 8th, and it is still incredibly cold. Wind chills still feeling like the minus 20s to minus 30s in some areas. To top it all off, we've seen quite a bit of snow, blowing snow, drifting snow. It has not been a pleasant commute for many areas near the lands. Temperatures are starting to warm up, but I'm not going to have good news until the long-range forecast, so don't go anywhere. This minus 10 is our daytime high, feeling like minus 17. All right, it's time now for this week's Weather IQ. Is it the name of a heavy metal band or a weather term? Chris May finds out.
Thank God I'm not a weather major.
Thanks, Chris May. Looking at the long-range forecast, it is going to warm up significantly. By Sunday, we're looking at 7 degrees, and then it's going to continue to be above seasonal into the beginning of next week. Coming up, Kevin has got some winter comfort tips for you. But the good news is that we will warm up. Just by how much? I'll have all those details coming up in your long-range forecast. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday. It is January the 8th, and temperatures are frigid again today, but not as cold as they have been. Temperatures are going in the right direction, which is up, but that still doesn't mean you don't need to bundle today, because today is incredibly cold as well. We've got Kevin Yard joining us in Burlington. And Kevin, I know that you're dressed from head to toe. Fingers and toes starting to get a little numb. You need some of those hot pockets that you put in your mitts and your shoes to keep yourself warm.
Have a great day. Stay warm.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, if you are lucky enough to be skiing for the next couple of days, look at the snowpack. We already have 30+ centimeters on the ground, and there could be a little more in the future. Temperatures today getting up to -10 feet. I know, -7. That's going to feel balmy compared to the last few days. Saturday, however, going up to +7. We do have rain on the way. All of that rain will help melt all of the ice and the snow. It is going to stay above seasonal right into the beginning of next week for the GTA.